I'm Amy, sex educator, somatic sex and relationship coach, and sex shop owner.
And I'm April, VP of an international high-end pleasure products company and boss queen sex toy mogul. We're best friends who make our own rules about who we are as sexual beings.
With everything from how to be a badass in the bedroom to top tips for bringing your relationship to the next level, we have something just for you.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Don't forget to head on over to our website at shamelesssex.com for more. And for 15% off of some of our favorite sex toys, use coupon code SHAMELESSPP in all caps at purepleasureshop.com. Hello, everyone.
Hiya, folks. Happy day.
Happy day.
Happy days
Oh,
are
happy
here
days.
again. Should I do my Mrs. Doubtfire? Hello.
Yeah, make that a regular thing.
People probably turn down the volume as soon as I do that.
No, I think they liked it,
It's
though.
ear piercing.
Now, we actually got an email with someone that said, hello. I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine that's what they're saying when they sent the email.
And if you haven't seen Mrs. Doubtfire, go pay your
check it
respects to
out.
Robin Williams.
So, y'alls, we have two guest speakers, 2 in 1.
Yay.
Yo. Yeah.
Some
woo.
amazing women.
We're really, really excited about this. We're
pumped.
always excited, but this one is extra special. I'll give you just a little, let's see. We're going to call this is beyond just love. We're going to talk a lot about love and relationships, but this is a lot about manifesting, being your own manifester, manifestress of that which you desire, whether it's in the world of business, of purpose, and most of what we're talking about will be love, but this will apply to each and everything. And there's some really exciting, beautiful stories on how you can manifest and create the life, and the love that you desire.
We've talked before about manifesting, specifically what we've kind of done in our lives between you and I with this podcast, with our work situation. And so I think this is a really imperative episode to listen to for folks out there that are trying to manifest love in their lives. But yeah, getting things in order, bringing the positive into fruition.
I manifested my partner. He actually didn't even exist on this planet.
I manifested my partner too. I wrote it down and I slept with the notes about him underneath my thing.
And there he was. What did you?
But
what
I
did you
said
manifest?
I wanted him to like pizza. He doesn't like pizza.
Sure, you got to give him back.
I
Return
know,
him.
but it's good because now I've gone down a couple sizes since giving up the pizza.
Oh, perfect. I manifested that I wanted a hippie hybrid.
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
who was like kind of hippie and like a very conscious being, but I wasn't so far out there that they were like covered in gems and crystals and I couldn't hear them and understand them. It was too many gems and crystals. So I'm not into that. And there he was.
Oh, I call your partner hippie ripped.
Yeah, hippie ripped.
I'm like, he doesn't.
Yeah,
he
is.
doesn't
He's
go to the
totally
gym,
ripped.
but he like looks like he does a lot of rock
He
climbing.
does go to the gym.
Oh, and now,
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah, he goes to the
Right.
gym. Yeah.
And my partner is just ripped.
Your partner definitely goes to the gym. Definitely. Okay. Before we dive into this wonderful podcast, though, with these, and there's so many, we're so excited about all these stories. There's this podcast is gonna be full of magic, manifesting, stories of loss, grief, love. So be prepared for some beautiful, beautiful journeys with us. But before we do that, we want to do a review of the week, and we have a request, April, for an Irish
What's our
accent.
review of the week?
This is the review of the week.
No. What's our review of the week music? We need like, remember our news flash was it's like yeah. Review of the week
In an Irish accent
This one is called Nap Time Pleasure
by Leggy Blonde.
by Leggy Blonde 83.
Hey, Leggy Blonde.
Hey. So their request was for an Irish accent, so I'm going to work on that, but I'm going to read it. It's a longer one, and it's beautiful, and I will get to the Irish accent, Leggy Blonde 83. Don't worry. This is, without a doubt, the best podcast ever. I learned something new every episode. I started listening about a month ago and have made my way through all of them except anal. In parentheses.
because anal wasn't working.
Sadly, because it wouldn't play. We
But
fixed that.
It is now.
We fixed that
Leggy
problem.
Blonde, you can listen now.
When my 1-year-old goes down for a nap, it is my shameless pleasure to listen to an episode or two. This podcast has opened my eyes to a wonderful world of what is, in fact, more normal than not. My fiance and I get pretty wild, but now I know we can get even wilder and more connected than ever. Thanks, ladies, and keep up the great work. Hardalaria, Mama too, lover of the ocean, and shameless sex advocate. Mwah.
That was good. Well done.
I tried. That's my best Irish.
That was one of your best. That was good.
Oh, good.
German
good.
was you did not do German as
Well,
nearly as well.
I usually do great German, but that was on the spot and I was a little nervous. So I want a German redo to you out there that asked me to do that. I will redo it again.
German redo.
Because we can get redos in life. That's like why you can manifest things. I'm manifesting a positive German accent right now.
All right. Perfect.
Don't be so weird. No, that's German. That's German Irish.
Very confused. Very confusing. So now, what I will say, so this was read from our iTunes account. So again, if you're a listener and you have an iTunes account, if you write a review about us, and you actually even request the accent, April, I'm not going to even try. So it's all April.
I'm a Pandora's box of accents. I work on them often. I did acting for a minute. I was not very good.
I think you sound pretty good.
Thanks, Amy.
Hey, what wine are we drinking?
So we are drinking some amazing wine. I have to tell you, it's local here in Santa Cruz. And
Women-owned.
Women-owned. It's a Chenin Blanc from Margins Wine. And she curates grapes from underrepresented wineries and basically creates really drinkable, easy drinking wine that's drinkable with any kind of food. You can drink it solo. And she does a great job. So if you are not local to Santa Cruz and you're a listener, check out marginswine.com and you can order some of her wine. It's excellent. And we totally love it.
It's
and
delicious.
You won't be disappointed. And it's reasonably priced. Honestly, it's got a great price.
This wine is something I can drink every day.
And if you're a person that doesn't really like wine, now's the time to try it. It's the drink of the goddesses, I will say, and the gods, if you will.
So everyone,
it's what they drink at Game of Thrones, dude.
Yeah, in the chalice.
Chalice.
We don't have a chalice. We have fancy wine
we'll
glasses.
get one.
So everyone go check out marginswine.com. We love this wine. She also has a red that we talked about. How was it?
Sangiovese.
That we drank last week, which is
typically
delicious.
it's German. It's not German. It's an Italian varietal.
On Germans.
I'm stuck on the German.
Lay off the Germans.
But she's going to probably do more different varietals later. It just depends on what grapes become available to her. But she's boutique. She's small. She's amazing. And she
woman-owned and operated.
Woman-owned, operated.
Yeah, support your local woman-owned and operated businesses. It's awesome.
Handcrafted.
And April's a wine snob too. So if she likes it, that means it's really good.
I am.
You know. Yeah.
I don't shy away from spending more than $30 a bottle on wine. But this is about 25.
20, 25.
15, 20,
I think
25.
the white you can get for 20.
Oh, there you go.
Boom. Awesome.
Boom.
All right. So Margins Wine, everyone. And that's all we got for a little promo. Thanks. Let's get into the podcast. Are you ready for podcast time?
I am ready for podcast time. I just want to say, just before we start, this is going to be an excellent podcast to listen to. And I think no matter who you are, you're going to benefit from the information. But we just want to give a heartfelt thank you to all of our listeners that continue to tune in every Tuesday for, awesome information. And we've had some incredible guests, and I just want to continue to send out the gratitude to all of you. So thank you for listening. We will continue to bring you all the love that we can and all the great information about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
And manifesting. So I'm going to do a little bio time because we have two wonderful women here. We have Cher Slater Barlevy, M.A., and Lisa Nix Baltazar. So I'll give you a little bio here before we dive in, a little intro. So Cher Slater Barlevy, M.A., is an artist, spiritual counselor, Amazon 3-time bestselling author titled Dog of God, the novel, A Wild Romp Through Magical Worlds. Lisa Nix Baltazar is an inspirational speaker, writer, and divine manifestress. Her upcoming inspirational memoir, Believe, An Amazing Odyssey Through Loss, Grief, Love, and Life, has attracted the attention of Academy Award-nominated screenplay writer, soon-to-be winning, Scott Marshall Smith, who also wrote Men of Honor. Together, Cher and Lisa created Heart of Manifestation, offering retreats and workshops in Ojai, as well as other parts of the world. And to learn more about their offerings, visit heartofmanifestation.com or Facebook pages Heart of Manifestation and Believe, A Journey of Love, Loss, Laughter, and Life. Welcome, Cher and Lisa.
Hello.
She missed out.
That was Cher. And I'm Lisa.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having us here.
We're so happy to have you here in April's kitchen. We're drinking this delicious wine. Welcome.
Pellegrino.
Oh, and Pellegrino. You got to stay hydrated.
Bit teetotaler here.
Was that her Irish accent? That's good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Run for my money over here, Cher.
Yeah, April needs to take some lessons from Cher over there.
Come on over.
So, okay, so let's start with, we kind of talked a little bit about what we're going to talk about, but let's talk about who this podcast is for. So is this for, or not just this podcast, but what we're going to talk about and your retreats for women, men, trans folks, couples, like who is this for? The work that you're offering.
Really, our work, we found out, we thought our target audience originally, because we do women-only retreats, but it has expanded. And we thought we were going to be mostly hitting middle-aged women who are at a place in their life where they're really reevaluating what they're wanting. What happened was our retreats, my 2 daughters came, who are in the ages of the 20s and 30s. The transformation that took place was so powerful for them that they came home and their friends were like, what happened? So we have had women from ages in their late 20s all the way up into their 70s. And then the women are going home and the men are saying, I want a piece of this. I want to know what's going on. They're seeing the magic.
What happened to you?
So we're offering our first international retreat in Todos Santos, Mexico in November. And it's for men, women, couples, and whatever you like, whatever kind of love you like, as long as your heart opened, right? Right, Cher?
Yes, we got to have a heart open. And if it isn't, we'll make one.
And so you
can borrow
co-teach together.
Yes.
Oh,
it's so
beautiful.
fun watching the two of you, because part of what is really cool when we work together is I call Cher, I'm very spiritual, and I have a big open heart, and I'm so much a believer in love, and so is Cher. But I call her me on steroids when it comes to spirituality. She's like, woo, just out there with this amazing, amazing spirituality.
What I love is I came up with a colloquialism or whatever that's called.
Colloquialism, yes.
And I was telling Lisa, you are the door that opens, welcomes, and makes people come in and feel comfortable and safe. And I'm the one that says, look up, there's no roof on this house.
So it's really cool because I think the voices speak. And when you guys together, it's such an awesome team. I love listening to your show. You're entertaining. You're both deep, spiritual, wonderful women. And so you get 2 for 1 with our workshops.
Aw. That's so. Thank you. You do both have like wonderful chemistry. Just watching you over here, I love having you over at my house.
Yes,
drinking all the
thank
things.
you. It's
Can
awesome.
you tell us each a little bit about yourselves? Maybe Cher, if you want to start. How did you get on the path to Heart of Manifestation? I know you're an author as well, so can you just give us a little bit about yourself? I'm curious.
I've been manifesting for a long, long time, and I manifested nearly everything. But when I got a divorce, I manifested this amazing house for my retreats because it was my dream. And all of a sudden, I'm putting it out in the universe. I would really love to have a partner come help me do this. Well, I get a phone call from this lovely lady, Lisa. She calls me up, and 3 hours later, we are saying, oh, my God, we got to do this. And so I said, well, I'm having a retreat in my house on how to give retreats. Can you come on down? So this is in Ojai, California. Beautiful vortex place to come and heal. And she showed up and walked through my door, and it was just like, love! Love at first sight, and we've skyrocketed. We've rocked it, I should say. We have accomplished what usually takes 2 years in 6 months. Wow. We've had 3 retreats and just amazing transformations. You want to say anything about that?
Well, it was pretty cool because the story I'm going to share with you later often brings goosebumps to people. And before I even shared my story with Cher, and we were talking for that 3-hour conversation, she started to get goosebumps. And about 40 minutes into the conversation, she said, I have to hang up. I'm getting cold talking to you. But what I would say to the listeners and to people out there about how I started this and how it came into it, I talk about my manifestation. I had a definite vision of what I wanted, and I was specific about it, but I also surrendered to the universe so that I allowed the universe to bring in what would be best in my highest interest. And one of my things that I really wanted to put out there is to get my story out, to have it really touch people. And I ended up going to New York. We both live in California, but my husband ended up having us go to New York by reaching out to a literary agent, and it was there with 20 other writers that I was speaking and telling my story to a literary agent, and a publicist was in the other room listening, and they approached me and said, have you thought about being an inspirational speaker? You really moved us. One of them was in tears. She had just lost a soulmate. I really touched on something with her. Have you thought about being an inspirational speaker? I love inspiring people. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. And they said, you need to meet Cher. Now jump forward, the book's still coming out, it's getting ready to be published, and this Heart of Manifestation is just soul work. It's total soul work because we watch the women just shine and open up and process and get rid of all the baggage, all the things that block them from living life fully in the way they want to live it. So it's really an awesome gift.
Okay, we need to know the story now. It's time. Tell us the story. What is the story? I know that I've heard this story before, but this will be the first time Lisa, April, A, B, C, D.
Actually, at your birthday party, she shared some of it with me.
She doesn't know about the candle.
And I have to tell you, she gets really good at it. She got it down to 5 minutes.
Woo! All right.
And really well done.
So the 5-minute version of your beautiful story about how you've manifested a lot and your current love.
Well, and I knew that we would be talking about this, and I'm going to actually try and do it even less than 5 minutes because there's so much other to cover. I really want to get the main point across about this inspiration because I really want those of you that are touched by this to want to read my story or want to come to our retreat where you can really hear it on a deeper level. So I'm just going to really hit some key points with this story. I was really fortunate, kind of living the all-American dream where I met my high school sweetheart, 16 years old, football player, cheerleader, yeah, that whole thing. Born on the same day, same year, got married, jumped forward, age 42 with 2 children, and we were at 14 and 18, so very pivotal time where the daughter's going off to college. My husband, soulmate, was diagnosed with the worst kind of brain cancer that you can get. And in 4 months, he was gone. There were a lot of miracles that took place through his processing and his death. But once he died, I had to reinvent who I was because I was always with him from 16 to 42. I had to find this new woman. Let's just say the middle part of the story I won't spend a lot of time with is I did open up my heart eventually to love someone. And I thought it was wonderful. And that man devastated me. He betrayed me, he hurt me, and my life was ripped from me. So this had happened twice. And I could have given up on love. I could have been afraid to love, which I partly was. And I went to a beautiful place down in Big Sur, and I sat in the river and I cried and I wrote in my journal. And in my journal, I wrote the words in big, bold letters, believe. I believe that this is a period of adjustment and love is going to come back into my life. And I was so sad to see all the couples walking around and wondered why this happened to me. I bought a candle in a store as I went into that store, and that candle had the words on there, discovery of a soulmate. And those words spoke to me. So I had 2 years of dating and sexual exploration and finding myself and more sexual exploration and work and just an amazing time, ups and downs, dating, and just so much fun. But the whole time, I'd always go back to this candle, and I would light it. And I would put out to the universe, please, I surrender. Send somebody to me who can embrace all the love in my heart. I still wanted to believe in that. I ended up my journey going to Burning Man. I took the ashes of my husband to the temple. And on the second night there, in a crazy party where I was completely sober at the time because I was a little nervous about going out on the playa, I met this group of people kissing me, women, men, just embracing me. It was just like, okay, I'm at Burning Man. And this one man sitting at the table with blue glitter in his beard, kind of indifferent, just sitting there, was the only one that didn't approach me. And I just said, I guess I should give you a kiss. And I leaned over to give him a kiss. It'd been 8 years since my husband had died. When I leaned over to kiss him unexpectedly, I stood up. And my whole being just went. It was as if I had been holding my breath since the first time I heard in the hospital, he may have brain cancer. And I thought, I need to kiss you again. So I leaned over to give him another kiss. Ended up finding out we live very close to each other and dancing with wild abandon through under the stars and the laser. Later that night with the connection, I found out all these wonderful things about this man. And I said to him, what's this business you had for 10 years? He said, I owned a high-end candle company. We made candles that we sold all over the world. And he started to describe them. And I said, did you have one that said something? I am sweating sharing this story because it's just powerful what happened. It's really powerful what you can manifest. And he said, our biggest seller was discovery of a soulmate. And that candle I had at my bedside table for 2 years is his candle. And we lit it 4 years later at our wedding. And it's a pretty amazing story. So all of you out there, manifest and believe in love because you can make it happen. I hope I went under 5 minutes.
That was good.
And I have chills.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, is April crying?
I did 3.5. I did it. I did it 3.5.
Nice. You got
Ooh, and I'm sweating. But
good.
That's the story.
Yeah,
But the book has so
gets
much
me.
more to tell you.
It gets me every time, and of course, every time you tell, there's like a different level of emotion. Like I saw tears in your eyes over there. April had some light tears in her eyes. It's very, very moving.
I never cry, ever. It takes a lot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
You know,
I know. I'm not against it. I want to. I'm like, cry. This is a tear. Cry. But that got me.
well,
It was really sweet.
thank you.
Special.
And actually that's a great lead in for what happens at our retreats because women that don't cry, we're all powerhouses. We're all goddesses out there. You work, you have your kids or whatever you're doing, your job, and you're just going. But when you sit down, like we are here even for that 3.5 minutes, and you really tap into human emotion, who hasn't lost somebody, who hasn't been hurt, who hasn't gone through grief, and to hear something magical, like this is bigger than me, than what happened. So thank you. I'm glad I brought some tears to your eyes.
Thank you for sharing that story.
Tears are for cleansing. You know that, don't you?
I know. I'm a water child, and so
Me too.
Oh, Cancer?
Yes.
Me too. When's your
What day?
birthday?
28.
Oh, I'm the July 16th.
Oh.
So you're June
we're on the
28th.
side. Are you on the cusp?
No.
Oh, shoot.
So Cher is the April and Amy's the Lisa. There we go. It makes perfect sense. Okay, so that story, absolutely beautiful. Just want to give a moment to there's so much more to it. And as you all who are listening, if you're interested in learning more, there's a whole book and possibly a movie coming out about it. But can you give us some tips that you can give our listeners on the manifestation process? You know, you were talking about lighting this candle and believing, but what does that look like? Like, how do people manifest love?
Well, you have to have a vision, first off, what it is you want. So one of the exercises we'd love to do is finding 100 things that you want in the person that you are attracting. I found 130, went up to 150. The only thing is you have to realize there's a process. And whomever comes to you is perfect in that process. So I'm thinking I'm all real hot and just cool. I've got 150. And I meet this guy. And I'm like head over heels. I mean, like I broke all the rules. I was like, this is it, because I put it out there and the manifestation has come through.
She broke all the rules by sleeping with him on the first night. Come on, tell the truth. We're on a sex podcast.
I like your
that's
style.
Did you get it in the butt? No, I'm just kidding.
What'd you say?
What? I was like, did you get it in the butt the first time?
That's date 2, April.
Not the first date, okay. Okay, now where was I?
So you broke all the rules.
Yes, and everything was hot and heavy, and I had never experienced. Like I am not the youngest chicken in the in the coop. Okay, so we're talking past menopause. Okay, and so you have to understand my background was that I came from a divorce of I was married for 32 years, and when I came out of it, there was some affair going on. So I was struggling without having sex for 15 years. And so this was my shining armor. Yeah, coming to save me. So I just let it all. I just totally woke up. But, that happened for about 3 weeks. And then he stopped calling. That was it.
Oh, he ghosted. That's what we call it, ghosting. Yeah. They just disappear.
Like a ghost. Yeah,
like a ghost. Yeah. But what happened was that I realized, looking back, I did everything wrong. I didn't know about men. I was communicating with women all this time. I was very comfortable with that. But with a man, I didn't know. So he taught me all the things I needed to know. So now I am totally ready. Woohoo!
Well, I like that. And Lisa has something to say too. But I want to highlight that because a lot of times when relationships don't work out, people think that they failed. And really, I like when I work with clients privately, I remind them that they were just practice. Like they come and go as teachers to teach you what it is that you want, how you can do better, how your next partner could do better, et cetera, as opposed to it wasn't a waste of time, even though your heart hurts. It was, what were they here to teach me now that they're gone? They came and went.
Exactly. And I learned everything that I need now. I mean, just everything. So he was a great teacher.
Thank you, whoever you are, name that we'll keep anonymous. The ghoster.
So it is. It's a beautiful story, and Cher and I help each other grow through all of this. But to tell the listeners, because we are talking about heart of manifestation here, and I'm the one that brings them in the door before Cher tells them to look up to the stars. But what's really powerful is we decided to call it heart of manifestation because we were going to do the art of manifestation, but heart just kept ringing out to us. Come to find out, I decided I've got to research and find out what exactly, listen to your heart, follow your heart, all those sayings. Back in the time of Aristotle, it was heart. He talked about heart way back then. And then I realized that here in Boulder Creek, not far from us, is Heart Math Institute, where they've been studying scientists for years. The heart is magnetically stronger by 5,000 times than the brain. And so that is powerful within itself. If you tap into the heart, and that's what we do with people, is we have them kind of clean their slate, tap into the heart. What is it that they really don't have in their life that want more of? Or something they're in, but they have these blocks. And we have rituals and ways that we remove those blocks. And people, you can see them really stepping into what they want to manifest. And then they leave, and it continues with the tools we teach them. And they've got into their dream jobs, dream relationships, ended relationships that weren't healthy, even overcome anxiety. We didn't know things like that were going to happen. So it's been powerful. It's been really, really powerful.
How many retreats have you done so far?
We've only done
3. Okay.
We just came from Women Rockin' Business, 500 women, and it was all about entrepreneur women starting retreats and workshops. And they talk about starting little meetups in your living room and then graduating to a half a day and then a day. We dove in, like Cher said, 3-day. We meet Friday night, personal chef. You have your food. We have yoga. We have rituals, pool, jacuzzi, the whole thing. And we dove in, and we've done 3 of those. And then we have 2 coming up this year. And our first one internationally in Todos Santos, Mexico, for men and women.
I've never been there. It sounds nice.
It's amazing. It's a little artist town right on the ocean. And there's beautiful... We're taking it in November when the little tiny turtles... Those
sea turtles?
Huge turtles, but they're really big babies, and they release them to the ocean. It is the most profound experience to watch those little guys struggle for their life.
I got humped by a sea turtle in Maui. No kidding. And I guess they do that sometimes, but it rolled up on me and came up, and I was like, I didn't know what to do because I was like, this is magical. But I'm like, somebody's yelling at me, like, get away from the sea turtle. I'm like, it's humping me. I don't know if it's sea turtle dick is coming out right now, but I feel like I'm getting sexually accosted by a sea turtle. I was not accosting the sea turtle, but anyway.
This is a really good visual. You should crawl in my mind right now because it is really totally orgasmic.
I can just see April. Ah!
Yeah, get it on my snorkel on. So I was like,
no one could hear you.
It was awkward.
Well, so Chip, you're
beautiful.
It was an awkward sea turtle bang. So April, you're big on manifestation. You talk about this all the time. And so I guess, so what I'm hearing from you, what you're sharing is, one, you need to be open to the manifesting process in general. So if you're closed to it, nothing's going to flow your way. And then it sounds like the process is getting people tapped in their hearts and kind of undoing or getting rid of the armor that's in the way, and then getting more clear on what it is that they're calling in. That sounds like your process. Is that what you do too, Chip?
I typically get clear. I never use the, this is my practice. Over the years, I've been really clear. And when I write down, I never use, I want, I say, I will have. So it's already coming into fruition. So instead of saying, I want a man that eats pizza, I say, I will have a partner that loves food as much as I do. Does that make sense? That's my practice, but I'm sure there are many ways to manifest. But I do always clear my head and get I always very live, and I envision it as well. I'm a specific visualizer.
Okay. Do you want to hear our process?
I would love to. Right.
Just
Why
little
not?
teasers.
They'll forget. Anyway, we put ourselves as if it's already happened. So I am now feeling so wonderfully in love. The kisses are magical. I walk into in the kitchen in the morning. I make my breakfast, and he's slipping his hands around me as I'm frying the eggs. Ooh.
Apron, no
Okay, you know
underwear.
what I mean.
It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, I just wanted eggs real bad for this.
No, me too.
Let's have some eggs. Let's take a break.
So it's important to get clear and have that, like, smell the partner that you like,
Yes.
what they smell like, what they taste like, what they do on a daily basis, and kind of envision yourself with this person, or / having the stuff that you want. Like if you want to drive the car of your dreams, you want that Toyota Prius that you've always been dreaming of. You know, you have your fingers gripped around the steering wheel and you're driving it, right?
Right. And
One other thing I want to say. In the workshop, when you have all these incredible, at that time we had incredible women, just all there, while you're doing your vision, they are pumping you with all this energy. So it's like a vortex that's 10 times bigger. And you're in Ojai, which is a huge vortex, which incidentally, after the fire, has become even a bigger vortex.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a cleansing so that they can move more energy in. It's just amazing.
Our listener that doesn't like gems and crystals just tuned out. And I'm done.
okay.
That's okay. We still love you.
So for the listeners that don't like the gems and crystals, this is why we're a good team. So I'm going to give you something that can be worked with both how both of you do that, how you say, I will have, and how Cher is saying, I already have this. I'm already cooking the eggs, and he's wrapping the arms around me. Here's the thing, is that our subconscious mind is 90% underneath, like a big iceberg. 10% is your conscious. But that which drives us doubting or our things, our obstacles get in the way, that's 90%. That's a lot of bad shit going on in there against you, okay? So if you in your conscious mind can believe what you're asking for and what you want, and you can see it at least 50 or 60%, 70's better, you're going to walk right into that as long as you keep believing. And we're going to give you the tools to do that. It's going to happen. Magic in motion is what we call it.
And practice makes perfect with these types of with manifesting, especially, and reading over your wants over and over again, your desires is always really pivotal. I've always slept with my list, if you will. It's not 150 Cher. That's impressive. I know. I think mine's like 80 something.
Hasn't come through yet.
And I know. No, he has. Yeah, well,
he just
they
doesn't
have.
like pizza.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I forgive him. So awesome. I think that's like, for our listeners out there that aren't familiar with manifesting, I think that it's something that sounds so easy. It really is. And the universe is your catalog, right? You can have whatever you want. And I always like to say that to friends that ask me about how, like, my success. I always say that you can have whatever you want. And I think that's beautiful that you're bringing that information to people. So
Can I say a little something on that?
100%. Would love to.
We have come here on this planet to do exactly that. That is our job, to manifest, because that is how we grow. That is how we become better people, and our spirit and our soul can expand every time we come into an aha moment. So, yep, it's our work.
And the thing I would say is that, again, I'm here talking about Heart of Manifestation because the journey I was on to publish my book, if you surrender to the universe and you trust and you see it time and time again, trust if you get these obstacles on the way or these detours that actually are going to take you to something you never knew that could feed your soul on such a deep level.
Yeah, they're supposed to be there, those detours.
Exactly.
The bumps in the road.
And you still can go for the goal. My goal is going to happen. I'm going to publish my book. I'm going to spread this story because I want to inspire people. But this is awesome that you have the detours.
I can't wait to share this.
I like that.
Share with Cher.
Sharing with Cher.
All the visioning, all the work that you do, the universe has got our back a huge way because it's huge. And so when we manifest it, it's usually, you will find someone said this and a whole time, so much more, just times and times over and over again. I hear that. So we're just this little human being that's creating all this stuff, but the universe that's working with us and attuned with us and is in harmony with everything that we are here to have has a bigger scope on things and brings you a lot more things that sometimes you don't even think about. So it's a wonderful journey, and don't be afraid to go.
I had my own process. So a couple of years ago, my partner and I have broken up like 3.5 times, and the 1.5 time that we broke up, it was right before we broke up. We weren't doing well, and so I was doing this process. I remember at your house, April, in LA, actually, and I had this daily meditation where I was doing these visualizations, and so not just like what you're saying, I will have, and what I was doing was that I have. And so I'm surrounded by generosity. I'm surrounded by love. And then other than just having the affirmations, it was I would tap in the feeling of what that feels like at a point in my life. And what does it feel like to be surrounded by love, and visualizing that. And same with generosity. And I think I had one other one. I don't remember what it was. And then we ended up breaking up a week later. It was really painful. And I was like, where's the love and generosity? But what happened was through the heartbreak, all of my friends just showed up so big, and I was surrounded by love and generosity. They dropped everything for me for days of just like, what do you need? We're here to take care of you. And just like, I was surrounded by these people, and I realized that I was like, I called this in. Like, I know that I put a lot of energy into these relationships to make it so that they care about me that much, and I let them know I need your help. And they just showed up so big, and everything that I called it. And then what ended up happening was my partner came around and realized he was being a dum-dum. And
To put it nicely.
And then and then he was like, oh wait, I messed up. And then he showed up in this way with a lot of love and generosity too. So I get that. Not only I have this or I will have this, but tapping into the feeling of what it feels like to really be that it makes a big difference.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Here we are, over 4 years later.
I know.
And Lisa and Chris have played a big role in Lisa and her partner in our relationship. Sometimes they're our free therapists.
Yeah, we love it. Come on over, everybody. We have a great hot tub. It's fun. We love the free therapy.
You guys are the best. Okay, now let's talk about something juicy.
I've heard this little amrita. What about amrita? Can you tell? Because I actually haven't heard the what we're going to talk about named amrita. This is the first time, so I'm excited to learn more about it. But can you tell us about amrita, please?
Lisa has a special story about amrita, and I'll just say amrita is also known as female ejaculation. But amrita is the Sanskrit word for it, so in like the more the Tantra tradition.
Yes,
but Lisa, I know that it's served a big part in your sexual awakening. Tell us about that.
Well, it started back. No. So I am in my mid-50s. I've always loved sex. I'm a very intimate sexual being. And I had wonderful intimacy with my husband, but I never experienced female ejaculation. I didn't even know a woman's body could do this. And when I started my sexual exploration, the first time that it happened with a man that was quite skilled with his fingers to have this happen to me, I had this urge like, oh my God, am I going to pee the bed? What is happening here? I didn't know. And he explained to me what was happening. And then I started dating a tantric sexual healer, intimacy healer, who was even more qualified in the bedroom as far as healing was concerned. And I realized that my body, it's interesting because sex and female ejaculation, or squirting as it's called often in the porno movies or whatever, it can be more of almost a performance thing that a woman does, like, oh my God. And I've had my body squirt in great distances. But what happened, my partner's over in the corner smiling. He finally looked up from his phone. He's turning a little red.
I did that.
Yes, he's here too. Yes.
So it was definitely a release, and it was this amazing thing. And I was going through this whole sexual exploration, and then something really amazing and beautiful happened. And what that was, I talk about how the first time that I kissed my now husband at Burning Man, and I felt like I had exhaled. Literally, like I was finally home and feeling peace again. Well, the first time that we really were able to engage in sex, because the first time we did it, we were hiding under covers and trying to be quiet with someone else in the room. And that's
Burning Man.
And that's another story.
But he came to, he came. So he came to my home to light the candle. And we had this amazing, passionate lovemaking. And he knew that this was something my body could do. But more importantly than this, I experienced something where I was, before we lit the candle, getting ready to light the candle, where I was on top of him, and he like intuitively knew he was speaking to my soul, and he started to gently rub my face and my shoulder. And he said, "You're safe with me. You are safe with me. I'm here to love you." And the way he kept repeating it, I felt my whole body start to vibrate and shake. And I had what is, I learned later, called amrita. It was beyond sex. It was spiritual. It was a release. I started to wail and cry and vibrate tears of grief that I had never really let go, and feel safe with him. And it went on for a long time. And there was amrita, which is the Sanskrit word, which is nectar of the gods. I looked it up for my book because I read the passage about this sex, because I write about my intimacy and my sexuality. And I thought, it's just not nailing it. I've got to be honest about this, because I have a lot of sexual parts in the book, but this was different. And I thought, am I going to own this? Can I talk about it? And here I am on a podcast with the two shameless sex goddesses.
Telling the world.
Shame.
I have no shame. And I own it because I've started talking to women who are either saying, I didn't know a woman can do that, or it hasn't happened to me, or how can I do it, or I feel like I'm going to pee the bed. And I wanted them to understand that. And when I read about it, there's actually a kundalini healing within the body if it's done in a very sacred connection with your partner. And I advise all women out there, and all men. My husband got a book on female ejaculation, and we took a trip, and he was reading it by the pool the whole time. So, and he's becoming very skilled at that. And you can learn yourself as a woman, but there's a whole side of it that's so sacred and so healing, and it's so beautiful. So I wanted to share that.
Well, I want to highlight one thing you said about the safety piece that your partner said, that you're safe here. And because when I teach female ejaculation workshops, that's one of the key things that we teach, is that you have to be relaxed, which means you have to feel safe. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard. And like you're also adding on here too about how there's a difference between the Kundalini part, where it's this deep healing release. Yes. That requires this very specific level of safety and connection. Yes. Whereas you can milk the shit out of G-spot and get amrita, yes, or get female ejaculation, but it doesn't give you the same feeling. No. So this is a much more intentional, yes, connected way of touching. It's not the way G-spots are touched in porn, in mainstream porn. No. That gives you that, can give you that healing. Yes. Good job to your partner. High five.
Yeah. But he's over there smiling. He's a happy man. Yeah, and I would say anybody who's in this connected love soul connection, which are many of your listeners, or even if you're alone and you're wanting to experience that, just tap in. I mean, it's just one of the most amazing things you can share with another human being. It's beyond sex, and it's intimate, and it's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the old chicken is looking forward to it.
The old chicken Cher is ready for it. She's like, I'm ready to gush everywhere.
Do you talk about Amrita at your Heart of Manifestation workshops as well, and help people kind of get to that place? In not help them physically, but you know.
Yeah, after it's all over and we got a bunch of wine and they're slopping around.
That was
Your
Cher.
partner's lined up. Your partner's lined up with his book.
All of a sudden, our attendance goes way up. We've got a lot of people coming in. They're like, forget the manifesting. Let's just start. No, the real answer, that's true. It is true. So, April, that's an awesome question. And I have been speaking to Amy. I don't know if she told you, but I am feeling, because of my healing through my sexuality and through specifically the Amrita, that that's a part of your being, whether you're in a relationship or not, that open to intimacy and to sexuality. And we are trying to find a way to bring it in. Because what actually happens is every time we have a group of these women, inevitably they start talking about not being able to have time for their husbands or their boyfriends, or looking for a man, or not feeling safe with a man. And I don't ever really breach. I did after we were drinking wine that's when I first started talking about the whole Amrita. And I started to realize, the women that were left over and heard me talking about it, that I want to own this, and I want to feel comfortable in it, and I want to share this information so women can tap into that. So yes, we do want to find a way, and men coming too, how to tap into sacred intimacy. So if your listeners are out there and they're interested, or they have something they want to say through you guys about their thoughts on that. I don't know if I'm able to say that. You can cut that if it's not allowed, but
no, it's totally. I think they can give us feedback. We get feedback all the time. They can send us an email, or they can contact you directly and let you know that they're interested in that for sure.
Definitely. I think it's a component we definitely want to add, and we're wanting to make sure it fits with our program.
Sure.
So awesome question.
Good. Well, I'm looking forward to, maybe I can attend in May.
Yes.
I'm going to Miami for a while, but I would love to. I mean, it's always something I'm open to.
Well, let's give the dates now that we're here too. Yeah. So let's give the dates for these retreats. So we have May 18th through 20th. This is the women's retreat, and this is in Ojai, California. They'll be doing heart-opening yoga. There'll be a personal chef, beautiful pool and jacuzzi nestled in the trees and boulders. Come to be transformed. And then November 7th through 11th, this is in Todos Santos, Mexico. This is open to everyone, men, women, other folks who identify in other ways, and couples and singles. And this is the cultural heart-opening retreat.
Yes, we really immerse. We have a private chef that studied cordon bleu, who is going to be doing a night.
April's like sold.
Yeah,
I'm a foodie.
And so we're doing hands-on cooking, where they're going to cook their own, learn and cook their whole meal, and then have some of the organic wines from the region, and we'll have a whole dinner going on. They're going to have class time, yoga, meditation, and walks on the beach with Cher, and she's an awesome leader going through the whole manifestation downloads and.
What? She has the mic in front of me. What?
She leads us. She leads. You lead. Yes.
Thank you.
So, and you can get a discount off of these workshops, right?
Yes.
For just listening to this podcast right now. So it's 2018. If you are listening, you get $150 off of these workshops.
Yes.
And it's, what do they have to mention?
Shameless Sex Podcast. Amrita. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but either one probably you'll get a discount. Maybe a bigger one with Amrita.
So moving forward, and thank you obviously for all the info on Amrita. That's really cool in your experience. I know that both of you are artists / authors / amazing women. Can you tell us about your book, Cher? Multiple books? One book?
Multiple
books. Can you tell us a little bit about your books and where can we buy them? And then I know Lisa has a book coming out as well, but I would love to hear more about that.
Yes, you can get them all on Amazon, because I am an Amazon bestseller. And so you can go in there under my name and you can see what's available. And also
that's Cher
Slater, Bar Levy,
Slater. That's a nice Slater Bar-Levi.
Yeah.
Is that Hebrew origins, Bar-Levi?
Yeah.
Ah,
It's quite an extraordinary name.
nice. I know.
didn't let
definitely.
it go because I really love the name and what it means.
It's a good
it means,
one.
like rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
The rabbis were, the nomadic rabbis, and there was the Levi tribe.
Yep.
Guess
There's.
who was in that? Our Jesus Christ guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sinapo.
my
He
man.
was a big old Jew. I know that. No, I know Levi is a very common name. I lived in Israel for a year, and there's every other. It's like Smith in the United States. So I was just noticing Bar-Levi though.
Yes,
Nice. Okay.
yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
So,
Thank you.
And
Book.
also, I am writing a memoir as well, and it's called The Happy Divorce. Is there such a thing, really? So yeah, it's how I turned my divorce, which was really painful and violent, and I mean, in me it was violent, but a lot of betrayal and all that, and I turned it around, and now we're best friends, and it's just like once I tapped into how can I find loving on all levels, which I learned at the University of Santa Monica when I was getting my master's in spiritual psychology. And when I applied that to my life, which is not an easy task to do because you have an ego that wants you to go beat them up.
Yeah.
But, just to come from loving in every situation. And I was able to receive all these amazing gifts that I had no idea were waiting for me. So it's really, I believe that you love somebody, 32 years is a long time. And you just can't say, now I unlove you. It's not the truth. The truth is the love has changed. So I said, I can love you as a brother or sister like that. We'll be brother, sister.
As a
love.
friend.
And so now we're
right.
really, really good friends. He's totally supportive and kind, which he wasn't when I was married.
Yeah.
It grows you up. It all happens for a reason. And if you take responsibility, that's what you get is great, beautiful gifts.
Amy and I talk a lot about that on the podcast, about redefining the typical nature of all relationships. And a lot of times I was brought up to hate my exes because of how my parents hated each other. And it's something that I've chosen and tried my hardest not to do, because you pick your partners for a reason. And I don't think it always has to be messy and shameful. It can be actually a beautiful process as long as you can both communicate and be adults.
Yeah, and it just takes responsibility for yourself. And that's
Right.
all you have to be responsible
Right.
for.
Right. You're in charge of your own happiness and the decisions you make.
Yep,
So absolutely.
yep.
And then Lisa, you have a book as well coming out. When will yours be out? And the book is called Believe, I believe.
It's called Believe. I'm very, very excited. This has been over a decade in the making, because really the story is my life, and it's kind of had to form along with the life. So actually on March 15th, which I think is next week, the book proposal, the final edit, everything is going to be packaged and ready to go out to publishers. And-
Congratulations. I drink to that.
I'm manifesting it coming out soon. However, I'm learning through this process that even if it's picked up by some publishers, can take a year to a year and a half
Right.
to get
It's
your books out.
a long process.
It's a long process. But I'm going to manifest that it's coming out sooner. And if you do go to Heart of Manifestation, which I'm sure you guys will give that again, it's www.heartofmanifestation.com, and sign up and subscribe, you're going to hear all about our retreats and know when the book is going to be released.
Cool. That's great. And how can people find both of you, all of you, and your amrita too?
Well, we have the website. What was the Facebook ways to find you too?
So
on social network?
Yes, we have a Facebook page, Heart of Manifestation, and you have the words there, I think, in front of you for Believe.
Yeah, it's we said that it was Believe, journey of love, loss, laughter, and life. The 4 L's.
Yes, and on that page, and it's been really powerful for me, I have put excerpts from the book. And I have people from all over the world. I'm nearing almost 2,000 followers, and it's really wonderful to hear how it's touching people, and they say this makes a difference. So I will put excerpts on there once in a while that people can see.
And I want to put a little plug for my first book that I ever wrote that did become a bestseller. And an international bestseller as well, Dog of God, the novel. And it takes place in when I was going through a terrible car accident and my whole ankle was shattered, and all the Western doctors kept saying, "There's nothing we can do. I'm sorry, just live with it and learn to live in pain for the rest of your life." So I said, "I don't think so.
I'm not going to do that
for me, no." And so I went down to work with John of God, and I walked in on 2 canes and walked out with 0 canes. Yeah. So it's quite a journey. And I got really creative because that's who I am, Miss Creative person. And I wrote it from the viewpoint of a dog that I had met down there who was also a healer. He's a medium too, along with John of God in that little village in Brazil. So, yeah.
Very cool.
It's a fun thing.
It's a really fun thing. I love
Well,
being your partner.
I want to thank both of you. Amy and I loved having you
We love
on
being
our
here.
podcast.
Oh,
and
it's over?
I know. If you want more, though, remember you can get Cher and Lisa's beautiful workshops that they present go to heartofmanifestation.com. I won't spell it for you because you can Google it if you're having problems. You can also check out their Facebook page. Remember, they have 2 retreats, May 18th and 20th, and then again in November. So check it out on their website. And Amy has something for you.
We'd love to see all of you.
Yeah, check it out. And then lastly, if you listened to the podcast that we did, I think 2 episodes ago, it will actually have Lisa's partner on there talking about jujitsu for self-defense and for sex. He has some workshops coming up. If you haven't heard that, the man, the myth, the God that Lisa's been talking about, you can actually
Buddha.
come and learn some self-defense / skills from him as well. So listen to that episode as well.
Well, thank you both for being here.
Mwah.
Oh, it was so much fun.
It was really fun.
Thank you.
We love our listeners.
Yeah.
We thank you for tuning in. Again, everybody, we will see you this Tuesday, next Tuesday after that. If you have a question for us, a sex question, a life question, or you just want to say what's up, you can email us at shamelesssexpodcast@gmail.com. You can also go to our website, shamelesssex.com, and hit us up with your questions. We really do love you. I dream about you at night, every night, all the days, every day. So thank you all for all the things, all the time, and ciao for now.
Don't forget to head on over to our website at shamelesssex.com for more. And for 15% off of some of our favorite sex toys, use coupon code SHAMELESSPP in all caps at purepleasureshop.com.